Search for possible life in a solar system beyond our own. Astronomers have identified 7 Earth-sized planets orbiting a star just a mere 230 trillion miles or so from our own planet. That sounds like a mind-boggling distance.
We are really small compared to everything else in the universe. We have an average star orbited by 8 planets, one of which contains us. For every grain of sand on Earth, there are about 10,000 stars up in the sky. Specifically, there's between 10 to the power of 22 and 10 to the power of 24 stars out there. Cool. Now, let's say that 5% of those stars have solar systems that are just like our own. That leaves 500 billion sun-like stars. Then, let's say that 1 in 5 of those stars possesses an Earth-like planet, in the Goldilocks zone, where it's not too hot or too cold. That leaves 100 billion Earth-like planets. Okay, nice. Finally, let's say that 1% of those planets actually had some sort of life show up. This means that every grain of sand on Earth represents an Earth-like planet with potential life. Knowing all of this, there are about 100 billion stars in the Milky Way galaxy. Using the math, there are 1 billion Earth-like exoplanets in our galaxy. And if 1% of those planets have life show up, there is a possibility between 100,000 and 1 million civilizations somewhere in our galaxy. There have been many cases where mankind have tried to communicate out there. But out of all these possible civilizations, we've heard back absolutely nothing. My question is, where is everybody? Thanks for joining me here today. My name is Rohit and the question is, do aliens exist? The Fermi paradox seeks to answer this question. If there are so many stars out there, so many Earth-like planets, why haven't we found them yet, or why haven't they found us? In the past couple of years, our knowledge of Earth-like exoplanets has expanded vastly. We are now aware of about 3,800 exoplanets, which could perhaps harbor life. How did we find so many Earth-like planets in such a short amount of time? The Kepler spacecraft, the planet-hunting dog, is one to be thanked for, with its array of 42 alien camera-hunting sensors. The TRAPPIST-1 system, which is 39 light-years away, is discovered to have 7 habitable planets, orbiting a Jupiter-sized star. The worlds are rocky, they have water, just like Earth. Okay, if there are so many Earth-like exoplanets that could have life, why haven't at least one other civilization been detected yet? Even though we have been searching for life every single day, we have just been assuming that it already exists, somewhere to be found. For example, when we first went to the moon, the astronauts were not able to freely walk around and were restricted of it for weeks. Why? Well, the Apollo assumed that if there was life on the moon, specifically speaking bacteria or microbes, this could possibly be a serious threat for life back on Earth, as it can wipe us to extinction. This practice was continued until the Apollo 15, when it was realized we were okay. It's also crucial that humans don't contaminate other moons or planets. There are literally thousands of pounds of junk lying around on the moon. Although very unlikely, there could be bacteria on those objects, which may be able to live in those circumstances. If true, we may have created the first aliens on the moon. This is the reason why we send space junk to atmospheres of planets to burn up after we're done with them, to prevent life from spreading to places it shouldn't be. Humans are arguably the most intelligent beings on the planet. There's been about 108 billion humans who have lived or are living, but almost all have died without knowing all of the planets, what the universe is or was. 99% of All species have already died. Is it soon time for humans to be on that list? Just a century ago, we thought that everything in the universe revolved around us, and that the earth was flat. Today, we know that these once beliefs are far from the truth due to tech advancements. Based on our history, it would be really dumb to assume that we are the only ones in the universe. Frank Drake believed that there's no way we are alone in the universe, and that there must be a way to calculate where everybody is, right? And from that belief, we now have what is known as the Drake equation. This equation takes all the necessary steps and requirements for a civilization to thrive in our galaxy, and breaks it down, allowing us to hopefully predict accurately the whereabouts of them. It is a step-by-step process similar to the beginning of this video, leading us to the number of civilizations out there waiting to be found. Okay, this is the Drake equation. These 7 variables, when multiplied together, gives us a way of measuring the possibilities of alien life in our galaxy. It's a little scary, but let's break this up. N is the number of civilizations in our galaxy we have a chance of contacting. This is what we're trying to figure out. Our star is the average rate of star formation in our galaxy now. We don't know the exact number every year, but we do know the amount of solar masses that do form. It's about 3. Every year, 3 average-sized stars form. Fortunately, our sun is an average star, so it's something we can relate to. It could be one huge star or 10 smaller stars that form. We can't say for sure, but this term in the equation is one we're most certain of. F sub p is a fraction of those stars that have planets. This number isn't certain, but scientists have estimated that it'd be between 10 and 50%. This is not very accurate, but it's a decent start. N sub b is the average number of planets that could potentially support life. To find this, we first find the stars. Second, we find the planet. Third, we narrow down to the planets that could possibly contain life. Going back to the beginning of the video, I said that 1 in 5 stars have a planet that's in the habitable zone. So this is sufficiently accurate also. F sub L is where everything just becomes a mess. F sub L is a fraction of the planets that actually develop life at some point. Our data on life is really small, which I mean is just us. Only 1 planet out of gazillions of planets out in the galaxy. So we're just gonna go with the data we have. What if extraterrestrial life doesn't function like we do? And I think quite likely that life beyond Earth doesn't always need water, or oxygen, or sunlight at all. They don't have to function the way humans do. And they probably use a different source of energy, far beyond what we can even imagine. There are trillions of planets in the universe with trillions of different living conditions, so it's only fair to assume that there's possibly trillions of circumstances that allow alien beings to survive. So F sub L is hard to determine. F sub I is a fraction of planets with life that can actually form civilizations. Again, our data is limited to us and only. Something to really think about is if we live on such an average planet, in an average galaxy, around an average star, how did we get so lucky to be the only life to exist if everything else is so average? Why did something as complex and fascinating as life appear here? Or maybe life in general isn't special, but intelligent life is. Life that is able to ask the kind of questions like, are we alone? Out of all the species on Earth, humans are the only ones who have developed language. Alien methods of communication might not be even imaginable by us. They might not even have language or gather information visually or through their senses that we have, or even have any way of conveying things to its species other than its own. It's like humans trying to understand and speak fish. I don't know how to, and anyone else that does. Do you? It's the same logic with life outside of Earth. How many species of animals actually have a verbal form of communications? When we learn new languages or discover ancient languages, we know how sentences work, and we can decipher them by referencing with other languages. But with alien languages, there's nothing to refer to, even if we can cross-reference with our own language. Doing this with entire civilizations who are in the opposite end of the galaxy with their own human languages seems really counterintuitive. F sub c is a fraction of civilizations that develop technology that can be detected. We again are the only examples. Humans only have lived so long that the majority of human history we've had literally zero waves to even consider contacting alien life. It's a very recent thing. We have been broadcasting radio waves into space for the past 100 years, but humanity has been around for as long as 1 million years. Only for about a 10,000th of our existence have we been able to conceivably contact aliens. Something to consider is radio waves is the only way we have tried so far. In the future, we may find another way of contacting extraterrestrial life, which could work millions of times better than radio. Radio waves just might be outdated for aliens. This could also be a reason why we haven't heard anything back. It would be like trying to talk to someone across the world via carrier pigeon while everyone else is using the internet. You see, you would just look really stupid. We have to understand that humans just expect aliens to use the same kind of technology as us. One thing we can't be certain of is if we are the first to get the technology of Earth scale, or we have fallen behind and everybody else is ahead of us, only getting more and more advanced. If they are more advanced than us, they probably have found these radio signals, but they're just too lazy to respond. The last equation in the Drake equation is L. It tells us how long a civilization lasts. It represents how long we had to be found before it's too late. Extraterrestrial civilizations may send out signals for a long time until they stop or destroy themselves or find a better way to live a life, maybe in an infinite dream. For a more logical answer, the longer L is, the more advanced a civilization becomes. To make this simpler, the Kardashev scale comes in handy here. First, a civilization needs to find a way to take over its planet. This is called a Type 1 civilization. We are on our way there. We're about 0.72 at the moment. A Type 2 civilization will be capable of harnessing the power of its entire host star. See, the further away you are from the star, the less energy you get from it. Earth only probably gets about a trillionth of the sun's energy. Many inventors have claimed to harness more of the sun's energy, but we won't be Type 2 for a very long time. A Type 3 civilization has conquered the galaxy and has access to any and every planet. So far, there isn't any in our galaxy that are detectable. Okay, the universe is 13.8 billion years old. Earth has only been around for maybe a third of the time. There's been at least 5 billion years prior to Earth coming into existence that could allow for civilizations to have risen and also fallen, but yet we see absolutely nothing. If a spaceship that could travel the speed of 10% the speed of light is built, you could cross the galaxy in 600,000 years, which does sound like a long time, but in contrast to the 10 billion year old age of our galaxy, 600,000 years is literally nothing. Even if one civilization did this, they could cross the entire galaxy. Easy as this sounds, why haven't we seen this yet? Well, It might be a good thing, because that would mean that there are barriers in front of us that we all have to overcome. Even aliens. The Great Filter Theory helps to explain this very nicely. Imagine there are multiple civilizations. Not all of them will be able to jump over all the barriers that stand in their way in order to become a level 3 civilizations, which is one controlling its galaxy. There are multiple barriers to this. First is the multicellular life. Maybe that's an easy barrier to overcome. Okay, next barrier. The ability to have thoughts and a consciousness. Next, we have to understand basic technology. Okay, that's fine, we're good at that. Then is the invention of time travel. Okay, not so easy. We're kind of stuck. See, there will always be things that prevent us from progressing, moving forward, and becoming a galactic civilizations. But we don't always know what these things are. But yet, we see no signs of this. Where's it all at? The Great Filter Theory shows that there's certain steps that the species must get past in order to take over their planet, solar system, galaxy, and etc. Just like the Kardashev scale portrays. One or perhaps multiple of these filters are extremely hard or maybe impossible to get past. The real thought is, has humanity passed this barrier yet, or does it still stand in our way? If we did, great. We've passed a nearly impossible step in building a civilization, and we may be, or even the first advanced civilization in the universe. If we didn't, we still have many ways to go. Humans have created technology that can wipe the planet at a moment's notice. Just in the past 80 years, we have been currently working on things like artificial intelligence that will then lead to things like super intelligent AI. These could be some of the barriers we must get past. This might be where many civilizations have failed, and this isn't good. The Great Filter is a challenge that wipes out almost every species that encounters it. It's not something that kills off 99% of our population, which would give them a chance to regrow and reconquer that barrier. This would kill 100% of every civilization that has existed and leaves no chance for recovery. Fear is aroused when a civilization, in terms of technology, advances far greater than another, which almost leads to the weaker party getting wiped out. For example, the discovery of North America. Maybe it's just human instinct, but first, alien contact might be the most dangerous thing that we might ever face. If we find signs of alien life, would you immediately try to contact them? It's possible that they have already detected us, but instead of responding, they're observing and patiently waiting. Advanced alien species may just be observing us to see how we progress. Consider us a science experiment, but on a potentially galactic scale. The truth for now is that we just don't know. We have sent multiple interstellar space messages, such as the Arecibo radio message and the Golden Record, which is currently in the Voyager 1. These encoded messages have information on where we are in the galaxy and about our planet and about humans. The chances of aliens running into those messages is so small that it's practically useless. But we are still betting on this occurring. No species lives forever. There will soon be time for the end, even including us, humans. We might never find alien life before end is near for us. Anyway guys, time is ticking, and I don't want to know what the end is for us humans.